Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another educative tutorial on this channel. Today we'll be learning how to make an overhead hijab dress with a lace embellished sleeve. These are the materials we'll be working with: our tape measure, scissors, ruler, chalk, and then office pin, and of course our beautiful lush crepe fabric of 4 trousers. So we'll be cutting the dress part first, and then we'll come to the hijab part. So to get started, we'll be folding our fabric into two with the selvage facing each other, and make sure it is on the front part is facing the front part, like so. So I'll fold my fabric into two, and I'll show you the next thing to do. But before folding my fabric, I'll measure. After folding it this way, I'll measure the full length I'm working with, which is 60 inches. Then I'll add 1 inch to the for the M allowance. So I'll do that and show you the next thing to do. So I've already folded my fabric into four. After making sure that the selvage is facing each other, and there is this close part that is left for me, which will serve as the center front and the center back. So I measured the length I'm working with, which is 60 inches plus 1 inch M allowance. I measured 61, and I folded it into two. Like, I repeated the process. Since the sleeve part will be closed, there won't be any sleeve joining. So I'll just be cutting out the neck and then the side. So that will be the only cutout I will have for the dress part. So what I'll do next now is to mark out my neck depth, the neck depth and the neck width. So the neck width I'll be working with is 4 inches. So I'll mark out my 4 inches. But the only thing I will need to do is to mark out the back part first, because I'm not using the same neck depth for the front and the back. So after marking out the neck width, which is 4 inches, I'll mark out 2 inches for the neck depth of the back. 2 inches. So I'll mark that out, which will be the first one to cut. Then I'll mark out 5 inches for the front. 5 inches. So I'll be cutting out the front part first, then I'll notch this part to show me where the neck will start from. Then I'll be cutting out the front part later. So the next thing I'll be doing is to mark the back. The back I'm working with is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. So I'll mark out my 8 inches, and then to get the sleeve, that's the reason why I'm doing that first. So, and from that 8 inches, I'll mark out my sleeve. The sleeve I'm working with is 23 inches. So the since the style we have an embellished part at the sleeve, so I'll deduct 2 inches from the 23 inches that's supposed to be the sleeve part. So 2 minus 23 is 21. Then I'll add 0.5 inch as the seam allowance for the piping to be joined. So this is 21.5. So I'll go to the M line to mark out the wideness at the down part. So I'll be marking out 18 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. So that will give me 19 inches. I'll mark out my 19 inches. Then at the sleeve part, I'll mark out 8 inches for the wideness. This is this from this part. Can you see it? I'll mark out 8 inches, and I'll go in. Then I'll connect this part to the M line. I'll connect it in a slant method using my ruler. So this is what I will have. So I will go back to the sleeve part to shape it out, because this is not the shape I want. So I'll just come like this and shape So this is what I'll be cutting out. So reduce the bulkiness. This is where I will stand. So I'll cut it out now. Then I'll cut out the back neck depth first, since it's higher than the front. So then I'll notch this part to show me this is where the neck depth starts from. So then I'll open it up for me to be able to cut. This is the back part and this is the front, like that. So I'll open it up like this and cut out. I slide my scissors through and cut out my front part. So this is the back, which is higher, and this is the front. So this is what I have. I'll cut out the end part too. And that's it for the dress part. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to cut out the piping. So there won't be any need for me to join the silhouette. So this is what I'll have. Then I'll make sure it's the same with this. Then I'll mark out my 2 inches, which will be on fold. That 2 inches will be on fold like this. Yeah. So that means it will be like four inches when opened, plus the half inch I'll be adding. So half inch to the two. So it will, when opened, it will be 5 inches. When closed, it will be 2.5. So let's mark out our 5 inches. 5 inches, but when folded, it will be 2.5 inches. So I'll connect my markings with my ruler, and I'll ensure that the edges of the fabric are touching each other to give me an accurate measurement. For this sleeve part, instead of using the 8 inches I use, you can extend it to as wide as you want it. So this for the piping for the sleeve. So I'll just fold it into two, then it will be like this. First one, it will just be like this. This is how it will look. So I will go next to the hijab button. So for the hijab part, the measurements I'll be needing are the length of the hijab, circumference of the base, and then the face circumference. So the face circumference I'm working with is 22 inches. The length I'll be using for the hijab will be 17 inches. That's with the seam allowance. So I'll mark out my 17 inches. And for the base of the hijab, I'll be working with 16 inches. So this, that I've confirmed that this folding is enough. So I'll mark out my starting line first, because of these edges is not straight. So I will need to mark out my starting line. Having done that, I'll mark out the base, which is 16 inches. The 16 inches is in addition with the seam allowance. Then this is, I'll remark the length, which is 17 inches. I'll mark it out here to confirm I'll be having a straight line. So this is 17. Then for my face circumference, I'll be dividing it by 2. Then I'll add enough sewing allowance. So 22 divided by 2 is 11 inches, plus I will be adding 1 inch as my sewing allowance. 1 inch. Then after sewing, if there's any excess, I can then trim out. So I'll slant it towards the hem line. And from this point, I'll come up by 1.5 inches or 2 inches. It depends on how much you want the folding to be at the neck area. So I've already come up by 2 inches. I'll connect it to this part, so the shape will look like a trapezium. So this is what I have. Then I'll cut my markings out. So after doing that, I will notch this down part and the upper part. Having done that, I'll cut out the cap. Take my fabric and I'll fold into two. If you are familiar with this channel, you already know how we cut out cap for the hijab, cap for our hijab. So I will confirm if this is up to 4 inches. So then this one too, I'll be using 4 inches by 8.5. I'll curve my hand towards the marking. This is what I'll have. Then I'll cut out. I will notch the center here, and then I'll take my hijab. I'll make sure I look for the front part of the fabric. The front should be facing the front. So this is the front part of the fabric, and I'll make sure this one too is on the front part. This is also on the front part. Then I'll attach it. The notch parts touching each other. That's the purpose of notching. So I'll take this to my machine, I'll sew it, then I'll connect the notch part at the base too. I'll connect it to the dress part. So this is the dress part. I have the front and the back already. Then what I'll just do is that I will open it up. This is what I will have after opening the front and the back. This is what I will have. Then I will ensure that the front part of this is touching. This is the front part. It's also touching the front part of this. So, and this is what I will stitch. I'll turn it to the wrong side, the front part touching each other. Then I'll stitch towards the hem. I'll do that for the other side too. Then I'll come back to show you what I have after doing that. So in total, the total amount of fabric I used is approximately 3.5 trouser. To be on the safer side, 3.5 trouser. This is the remaining amount of fabric I have left, which is like half trouser of fabric. So it's safe to say we use 3.5 trousers of fabric for the in total. So I'll come back to show you after joining the side. and the cap to the hijab. I'll come back to show you the next thing to do. So this is the dress part after sewing. I attached the piping to the sleeve opening and then I top stitched it. I hemmed the I stitched the hem part, and then I want to show how to attach the hijab to it. So this is the hijab part. I attach the cap and I top stitch it in a stylish way to give it a more beautiful outlook. Then I joined the neckline with the sewing allowance, and then so this is the notched part at the center back. This is how the hijab looks like after stitching. So I'll notch the back. This is the front, which is wider, the neck depth that is deeper than the back. So I've already notched the center of the two neckline. So I'll do it like it and notch the center back. This is where I will attach the hijab, the center back of the hijab to this center back. So this is it. I will make sure the front side is facing the front side, like so. After doing this, I will stitch it round up to the front part, then to look like this, and the front part will, so this center front will fall at the center front of the dress. So for the sleeve part, for the lace embellishment at the sleeve part, so I'll make sure the embellishment is on the right side. Then I'll attach it. I'll place it over the top stitching because I already stop stitched this one to make it lay flat. So I'll place it this way all round. So I'll stop here. I'll make it lay on each other like so, so that it will cover the other edge, and I'll cut it out and show you that. So this is how it will look after stitching. I'll repeat the same thing for the second sleeve and give it a neat press. So this is how it will look. I'll show you the final outcome after stitching them together. This is how it looks on the front side. The sleeve after attaching the lace embellishment, and then the back. This is how it looks. So I will show you how it will look when worn. Thanks for watching.